should there be another variant which is more, maybe as infectious but more virulent than Omicron, we need to learn from this and not claim it as an excuse to shut down, but to recognize the best evidence is that the cost-benefit ratio, it's too costly for the marginal benefit. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, so I think we should do everything possible to keep our schools open. Even with Omicron, Senator, even though it was more transmissible, we were advocating for schools to stay open and to use a safety measure.
So if there's a shortage of testing, as there is currently a shortage of testing, nonetheless, would a school feel comfortable? The best science suggests they should stay open even if they cannot test?
Well, so if a school does not have access to safety layers of precaution, whether that's tests, masks, if they're worried about the ventilation, if they don't feel that it's safe.
But the non-pharmaceutical intervention did not find benefit from those measures. And you're hedging a little bit, Doctor.
No, well, let me tell you, I'm giving nuance here because this is a nuanced thing. It's not black and white. Like to get kids back in school, you need teachers in school too. If teachers are worried about their health, if parents are worried about the health of their children, then you need to have a conversation with them.
I accept that, but doesn't it seem wise that the federal government be consistent in their message to those teachers so that they, like a clear bell ringing, the single note is you can safely go back to school and the cost-benefit ratio favors being in? Because you certainly get mixed messages from the federal government, I'll say that.
So, Senator, I would agree, and I would...
Can I jump ahead because I got
please,
more
go
to
ahead.
ask?
Of course, sir.
Because we actually, on this change topics, Medicaid provides a heck of a lot of mental health services for people. The quality data we get from states, shall we say, is not sterling. It is awful. I'm a gastroenterologist. You can imagine which term comes to mind. So my point being, that's something we have control over, which would be to demand that states comply with something that was originally in Obamacare. I think it was Obamacare, right? TMSIS? Comply with TMSIS in terms of getting good data on longitudinal outcomes for the children they have identified with mental illness, receiving Medicaid reimbursement for either that or addiction services, and to see how that state is doing. Knowing that's beyond your purview in one sense, but is that a policy that you think would be wise?
Well, Senator, I do think a lack of data is a huge problem. It's like you're flying blind if you don't understand what's actually happening in your communities. So I think any steps that we can take to ensure we have accurate and timely data will help us to better sharpen our policies